Hello, welcome. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Once again, it's me again. I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for joining me. Court is back in session with your guy, Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Make sure you support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. If you're watching on TikTok, cool. Please click follow for great sports content. Welcome in to Speaking with Judgment. New York fans are feeling great today. I just think, too, New York folks, fans, local pundits, and the media were just 24 minutes away from ranting and lamenting for what almost ended in disastrous fashion. It was quite insane how quickly a blowout turned into a close game, then an eventual 108-105 Knicks victory. I felt like an idiot. The way the Celtics looked in the second half, everything, I must look pretty stupid after a second half swing for New York. Boston just had to make me look stupid. That was one of the most insane second half fall offs you will ever see. Just riffling endlessly on threes. The series opener was unforgivable. Completely falls apart in the second half, a poor showing. Boston looked like a completely different team in the first two quarters. There was a level of urgency and energy from them, and then comes the second half, and they can't hit a three to save their lives. The way they lost was unacceptable. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown had poor, inefficient games by their standards, and the Knicks were able to slowly but surely pull off an impressive comeback to stun the Celtics. Many left the Knicks, including myself, for dead, somewhat deservingly so. It was one of those weird games where the Celtics just couldn't hit a single shot, getting wide open looks. Most of them were uncontested shots. Bizarre lost at home. And honestly, I do know this about Boston, that they're not a very good home team. For whatever reason that is, they're actually a better road team. Enjoy the moment, Knicks fans. This series is over in 5. I remain astounded that the Knicks rallied to beat the Celtics. The more relevant story coming out of game one is the Celtics' woeful shooting. This team's inefficiency, cold shooting, not able to buy a basket, it was bad. I feel like everybody listening now knows there's no way Boston shoot as poorly as they did for the rest of the series. Boston had a 20-point lead. They owned and dismantled this New York team all year. And you think what happened yesterday is going to happen in game two? This is the only game the Knicks are going to win. There's a softness about these Celtics at times, as almost dependent on the three-point shot as they might be. This won't happen again. That was by far the most embarrassing loss for the Boston Celtics. But they'll get over this one, regroup, and respond in game two with a win. Jason Tatum went ice cold in the fourth quarter and overtime to end game one. Just 4 points on 1 of 9 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3. It was bad. To some, he's regarded as the face of the league. It has happened before where Jason Tatum fades into oblivion. He does that from time to time. Looking at who might be the next face of the league as that topic gets volleyed around the NBA world, Jason isn't good enough when the playoffs come around to be the face of the league. It was the classic Jason Tatum game where you actually forgot he was out there. Like, where's Jason Tatum? Where is he? I say in my eyes, he's not the face of the league. And this is not to take anything away from him because the man can ball. But You can argue he's not even the best player on his team that Jaylen Brown is. If you look at a lot of those shots last night, Tatum settled so much that he took about 8 shots on critical possessions that were not great shots. You're arguably the best player on the floor. Why do you need to settle? The Celtics, they were a disaster in the fourth quarter. It was just a historically bad 3-point shooting night. This is not something you've seen. They took 45 uncontested 3-pointers and missed 32 of them. On several occasions down the stretch, the Celtics ran offensive actions that put Tatum in favorable matchups against smaller or slower defenders. All the misses, Boston was 9 of 34 on threes after halftime. It left the door open for the Knicks to claw back. And I was like, there's no way the Knicks are coming back, particularly with the way things looked in the first half. Too many matchup problems. I just didn't see them getting back in this game. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, okay, the Celtics are just deeper and can win in a number of ways. Really thought the game was over. I was talking like it was over. Yeah, Boston got this one. No, they don't. Perhaps I spoke too soon. That was a hell of a comeback for the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is clutch. Shout out to OG. 3-point shots is what went wrong for the Celtics. And New York took advantage and were able to steal a game on the road. There were 6 minutes of bad decision making from Tatum and Brown. But literally everyone missed open shots. The way they shot the ball, they should have stayed after that game and shot around until they made 100 of them. That was the poorest they are capable of shooting. This is what they do. Live and die by the 3. It's not every game that you see them drive, kick, get open shots, and that they're not falling. Just nothing was falling. Oh, and by the way, the Celtics had the 3rd fewest layups in the game and the fewest free throws in the league. What does that say about Boston? It says they're just heavily reliant on the 3. And when they're not hitting them, they have bad nights. They shot the ball 97 times last night, and 60 of them were 3-pointers. 61% of their shot attempts were 3s, and they missed 45 of them. They don't shoot mid-range. It's not a team that gets to the free throw line. Boy, did they play themselves out of that game. You can talk a lot about Boston being the team to beat, but the struggles were magnified in the series opener versus the Knicks. Boston's formula was to take as many 3s as they can and hope the shots fall in. It showed that the Celtics can be beaten at their own game. Do I think this happens again? Like I said earlier, no. I think we'll see a different Boston team, and I think we'll get a Boston team that can outshoot the Knicks in game 2. But in game 1, they missed more than they made, and that's why they lost. I still like the Celtics in 5. All right, everybody. That wraps things up here. Thanks for checking out the content. Really appreciate y'all. Much love to you all. Without you guys, none of this is possible, so I thank you. But that's all, folks. That's all I have for you right now. Hopefully, I hear back from you all soon. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to listen to my content and hear what I got to say about sports. That's what we do over here. We talk sports. So I thank you all. And before I go, please remember to like and subscribe and follow on TikTok. See you again very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday night.